Hey everyone, Mah-Dry-Bread here. Pokemon Gold with only one Mankey was a fun solo run. Let's follow that up with a dumb one. Today's the day that we figure out, would I be able to beat Pokemon Red with a team of only GIOVANNI'S Pokemon? Okay, so let's take a look at GIOVANNI'S final team in Red and Blue. Yeah, there's a reason why we almost always just mop the floor with this guy. He has some decent Pokemon, but they all have common weaknesses and awful movesets. Like, this is the 8th gym. It's a ground gym, and he didn't teach any of his Pokemon Earthquake. Nidoking and Nidoqueen are still rolling with Tackle and Slash, even after they've got moves that totally eclipse them, like Body Slam. Like always, I'm writing this script as I go through with the challenge, so all of this part is being written before I've started. Everyone comment down below and guess if I can win or not. I predict that most of our team is going to be totally useless, and is pretty much just going to be Dugtrio and Nidoqueen carrying the whole team. Let's explain the rules. In combat, I can only use moves and Pokemon that Giovanni gets. I'll need other Pokemon to use HMs, but I won't be allowed to use any of those Pokemon in battle. We're not allowed to challenge the Elite Four until our party's moves match that of Giovanni in the 8th gym. No glitches or exploits, no items in battle, only Pokeballs and items outside of combat are allowed. Also, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more. Let's do this. So right off the bat, I used the Universal Pokemon Randomizer to replace Squirtle with Diglett, since if I picked anyone else from Giovanni's team, we'd have to be so over-leveled by the time we beat Brock that we'd probably sweep half the game after. I picked to replace Squirtle so that our rival would have Venusaur, for sure the hardest for us to fight. Giovanni doesn't use nicknames, so I won't use them for this run either. Before even going to Viridian Forest, we go ahead and catch a male and female Nidoran. They're going to become our Nidoking and Nidoqueen later in this run. For now, though, they probably aren't going to be doing much. You know why. It's because we have to grind Diglett in Viridian Forest, of course. I'm going to cut to the chase and say this grind sucks. Diglett has a base health of 10, so we are very frail, even if we resist Poison Sting. We don't get Dig until level 19, and that's our only way past Brock without a doubt. Yeah, we could try to hope for Poison if the Nidorans were to level up enough for Poison Sting, but Brock has 10 full heals, so that's just not happening. This grind takes absolute ages, but if I had picked any other member of Giovanni's team to start with, this would have been worse. I just have to get this grind out of the way early. Oh, and before I forget, check out this new border the gameplay has for Gen 1. I finally upgraded from using an absolutely ancient emulator that stopped getting updated in like 2005, and I decided to start using, well, like a modern one. So Gen 1 looks like this now. I think that it's emulating either the Super Game Boy or Game Boy Player, but I'm not really sure. Either way, it looks nice. As soon as we hit level 19, we get Dig and use it to take out Brock's team, no problem at all. Let's make some progress. While we're in Mount Moon, I grab a Moonstone for when our male Nidoran is a Nidorino. It's important that we evolve him into a Nidoking before level 26, since he'll only learn Thrash if he hits that level as a Nidoking. Nidoqueen learns Body Slam at that level, but we can just give her a TM to give her that move if we need to. Not that it matters too much, since we can get 2 Moonstones in here anyway. Oh, and of course on my way through Mount Moon, I took the Helix Fossil. I knew that if I didn't say what I took, you'd all ask. Actually, now that I think about it, everyone ask anyway. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. On the other side, I decided to just go after the rival first. It started out pretty terrible with our female Nidoran doing just about nothing. We sent in our freshly evolved Nidoking after, and although his stats are decent, he's still level 16 and using Horn Attack, so he didn't do great, hardly finishing it off. I let him take out Abra since they can't really fight back anyway. Then for Rattata and Bulbasaur, we just one-shot it with Dig from Diglett. Weird to think that Dig will be our best move the entire run. North of town, there are loads of trainers that we need to fight through. Normally, this just gets us a few levels before the next gym, but I mostly ended up using it to catch up Nidoran so that she can be Nidoqueen early. We're in this weird situation where our Pokemon with the best moves is by far the weakest Pokemon in terms of base stats, so it's worth investing in the alternatives early. Yeah, once Diglett evolves, it'll be a powerful crit machine, but he also can't really take a hit. I don't want to rely on our Rhyhorn or Rhydon that we'll get later to take hits, since Water and Grass destroy them pretty fast, so I think it's going to be up to Nidoking and Nidoqueen to tank the grass moves in the harder fights. Oh, and by the way, I made a mistake here. At level 16, I evolved into Nidoqueen before realizing that we still need Tail Whip, and weirdly enough, we need Nidoran to be a Nidorina until level 23 to do that, even though it's the same level that Nidoqueen would learn Body Slam at. Good thing there's a TM for Body Slam, or this would actually be impossible. I'll have to catch a new Nidoran later to fix this. I decided to go do the SSN before the Water Gym so that we could evolve Diglett into a Dugtrio, seeing as Starmie's Bubble Beam would absolutely one-shot us if we went in right now. Sucks knowing that I've already wasted some of the grinding time on that dud Nidoqueen. Gen 1 runs where you copy the enemy's moveset is weirdly hard sometimes. They've got weird moves. At the end of the SSN is another rival fight. It started how you'd expect, with him spamming Sand Attack on us. We landed some good hits, but I ended up switching out to Nidoking to actually finish it. The entire rest of the fight was just a sweep with Dig now that Diglett evolved. After that is the Water Gym, and we swept it with Dig. Really, this battle was one-shot or be one-shot, so leveling up until Dig was a one-shot was pretty much our only chance. Speaking of easy gyms though, the Electric Gym was also a sweep. After that is the Grass Gym though, and I'm not feeling confident about that fight. I think I'll do the Pokemon Tower rival fight and Giovanni fights first. Rival time again, Pidgeotto is first, so we get hit by a quick attack before one-shotting it with Slash. Next is Water Onyx, and Slash crit to nearly one-shot it, just for him to miss his Hydro Pump. Man, if that hit, we'd have fainted for sure. Growlithe missed his Ember. I think that was the 256 glitch. Anyway, he went down, and Kadabra was also a one-shot with Dig. Last was Ivysaur, who missed Leech Seed thanks to Dig, and then went down. It was an easy fight, but I'm worried about how Water Onyx will go in the future. Now that we have access to fly on an HM Pokemon, I go back to Viridian City to go get another Nidoran. This one we have to get to level 23 so that she can learn Tail Whip, then we can evolve her with a Stone and teach her Body Slam with a TM. This is more complicated than I anticipated. I ended up using the Rocket Hideout as a way to switch train up our new Nidoran, as well as a way to help keep Nidoking from falling too far behind. He's got all the moves that he needs now, and his stats are decent, but it's not like he has anything as good as Dig. Still, he's good for brute forcing some trainers. Oh, and of course there was Giovanni. It was our first mirror match, and not only did we take him down with one Pokemon, but we went into the fight with only 27 health. He almost finished us off, but we won. Sorry dude, this 10-year-old is a better ground trainer than you. The Pokemon Tower was super easy, by the way. This place would have been horrible if this was Fire Red, since ground moves don't work on the whole ghastly evolution line starting in Gen 3, but Dig still worked on them in Gen 1, so this place was a sweep. Now that we have access to the Safari Zone, I go ahead and catch 2 Rhyhorns. Only one of them is allowed to become a Rhydon so that we match Giovanni's team. Honestly, it's probably gonna be a waste of my time to even grind them up since I doubt we'll need them, but we need Rhydon for the challenge. It still needs to hit level 45 to learn some of the moves it needs to mirror Giovanni's team, though. With that done, I go straight to the Poison Gym and sweep it with Dig. I mean, I swept most of it with Dig. I guess it was actually Self-Destruct that took out Weezing, like usual. Alright, we leveled up plenty, so let's give the Grass Gym a try. Now that we have some proper power behind our digs, we're able to one-shot the only members of our teams that have actual grass moves to hit us with. It's time for Silphco, so I ended up using it to help catch up our side Pokemon again. Funny story, I had to catch yet another female Nidoran. The previous one never learned Scratch because it skipped so many level ups after switch training it on Pokemon that were way too high a level for it, and I didn't even notice until level 23. Thanks to wasting all of that experience on stuff that's now just stuck in the PC, I haven't really made progress on my Rhyhorns and Nidoking is falling behind. So that's why I decided to just clear out all of Silphco. Alright, it's time to fight the rival. Pidgeot was first, so we had Nidoking start using Thrash. We got Sand Attack, so he missed some of our hits though, and a crit really messed us up. In the end, we actually went down to confusion damage before quickly finishing with Dugtrio. Water Onyx is next, so I sent in Nidoqueen to try for paralysis on Body Slam, but she just got one-shot by Hydro Pump. Back out to Dugtrio, and thanks to a missed Hydro Pump, we actually won in 2 hits. Growlithe was a one-shot with Dig, and Alakazam didn't use Reflect, so he was a one-shot too. Last was Venusaur, and thanks to a crit on Dig, we landed the one-shot. After that is our second Giovanni mirror match. Nidorino was first, so I decided to send in our Nidoking to finish him. He's a higher level than us, but we quickly beat him with Thrash since he hardly fought back. Kangaskhan hit us with Comet Punch, but it hardly did anything, so a Slash and a Dig did the job. Rhyhorn was a one-shot with a Dig, and last was Nidoqueen, so I decided to mirror match it. We ended up getting paralyzed right away though, so it was a rough start. After many body slams, we finally paralyzed her to even it up. We were about to win when we got slammed with 1 health left. Damn. Nidoking easily finishes it, of course. And before we leave town, we took a crack at Sabrina's Psychic Gym. It was a super easy sweep since we can outspeed all of them and they're all pretty physically frail. Hey, you know what's next? It's Blaine. Do you even want me to talk about how it went? You know what? How do you think it went? The dude realized my dig would one-shot his Rapidash, so he used a super potion on it. Well, it had full health to try and stop me. He doesn't even have to follow the rules of Pokemon battles, and he still loses. Alright, it's time for the last Giovanni fight. Rhyhorn was a one-shot with Dig, and second was Dugtrio. I was worried at first when he dug right after us, since it would hit us, but then he illegally used a guard spec while he was underground, changing the order of our attacks and making me able to hit him to one-shot him. Giovanni literally broke the rules of the game to make himself lose. That was incredible. The entire rest of the fight was just a bunch of one-shots with Dig. With that done, we have one last rival fight before we can move on to the Elite Four. It started pretty well with us taking down Pidgeot in 2 slashes and his Rhyhorn in 1 dig, but when Water Onyx came out, I knew we were doomed. One by one, he just Hydro Pumped the whole team. Looks like we might need to just try this until he misses Dugtrio. A bunch of tries later, and we finally get one where Hydro Pump missed, so we 2-shot him with Slash. Growlithe went down to Dig in 1 shot, and next was Alakazam. I was worried when he used Reflect as we used Dig, but we crit, so he still fainted in 1 hit. Next was Venusaur, so I started with Nidoqueen to hope for paralysis. It started fine after Vine Whip didn't do much, but Razor Leaf took us down. Out to Dugtrio, and we hit hard with Dig, but 1 Razor Leaf took him down too. You know where this is going. The entire rest of the team got demolished by Venusaur's grass moves. Okay, this time we got hit less by Pidgeot and are a few levels higher. It didn't really end up mattering in the end though, since he just ended up using Vine Whip instead of Razor Leaf, so we survived it and hit a second dig for the win. Alright, it's time to grind, and I mean really grind. Don't get me wrong, this is basically the Dugtrio run, considering Dig got us here, and Dig's probably what's gonna get us through the Elite Four, but we haven't met the rules yet. We can't win this run until the team matches that of Giovanni's final team. Most of our team meets the requirements, but not the Rhyhorns. So one of these guys is going to have to evolve, but they're both going to need to be at least level 45 so that they can learn all of their moves. It's not very easy to grind them since their moves aren't great, and neither are they. It's hard to find a good location to actually grind them since water and grass moves end them pretty quick, to the point that we actually had to switch train them to get them started. Seriously, this grind was probably a solid 20% of the playtime of this entire run. Maybe more, to be honest. It's slow, and we don't hit hard, and we faint a lot. Kind of funny that we even have to bother getting Fissure on the Rhydon, considering it's already gonna have Horn Drill anyway, but that just goes to show how bad Giovanni's team is. Okay, it took ages, but we finally caught up the Rhyhorns. They learn Horn Drill at a lower level if you keep them as a Rhyhorn, so I made sure to hold off on evolving the Rhyhorn until it got Horn Drill, just to save a few levels. I also gave Rhydon the TM for Fissure to complete the moveset. We're probably not going to use these too much in the Elite Four, but at least we're allowed to make attempts now. Make your final guesses on if we can win this or not. Let's do this. First is Ice Trainer Lorelei, and exactly what I dreaded would happen, happened. We get totally destroyed. Even her weaker Pokemon using their weaker moves totally wrecks us. We have to throw our whole team at her, and the only reason we got anywhere is because of a lucky paralysis on Body Slam. It's obvious that our only hope of surviving this is leveling up Dugtrio until he can handle it, so let's do that. It really sucks to have to go right back to grinding after spending most of a workday on it, but we have to. We're not allowed to get better moves or better Pokemon, so really all we can do is grind until we can win within a reasonable amount of tries. Back at the fight a massive 10 levels later, and Dugtrio's dig nearly one-shot Dugong, who thankfully used Rest, giving us the 2 turns we needed to take him down without taking damage. Dig did pretty good damage to Cloyster, but we got stuck in Clamp for a few turns before taking him down. I thought Slowbro would use Withdraw early, so I just slashed him right away to deal some damage, but we got hit by Water Gun. The follow-up dig took him down though. Jinx has pretty low defense, so we took her out in 1 dig, and last was Lapras. We dug under the Hydro Pump and landed a crit for the much-needed win. Second is Fighting Trainer Bruno. Onyx was a one-shot from a critical dig, and second was Hitmonchan, who tried to do a Thunder Punch on a ground type for some reason, but we one-shot him with a critical dig too. Third is Hitmonlee, who goes down to a regular dig, and then we one-shot the second Onyx with a critical dig. Hey, did you know that crits are based on base speed in Gen 1? Yeah, Dugtrio is a crit machine. Machamp is last, and he just started spamming X defense, so we used a slash to crit and bypass his defense change. I'm still hung up on how Hitmonchan was trying for Thunder Punch when he has Ice Punch. What was up with that? Third is Ghost Trainer Agatha. Gengar was a one-shot with Dig, and second is Golbat. Slash crit, but it didn't quite take him down, but then she used a Super Potion, so he slashed again for the knockout. Haunter went down in one Dig, as did Arbok. Last was another Gengar, who we yet again one-shot with Dig. This really is the Dig run. Fourth is Dragon Trainer Lance. He starts with Water Onyx, so we have to take a few tries to not get hit by Hydro Pump, but on the third try, he missed and we slashed him down. Second is Dragonair, so I switched to Nidoqueen. Because she's Poison type and Dragonair has the Psychic move, Agility, Lance just spams that rather than fighting back. Because of that, we're able to slowly slam down both of his Dragonairs. As Aerodactyl came out, things changed. A huge Hyper Beam messed us up early as we kept hitting slams. We got in a few, but we went down to another Hyper Beam. I tried sending in Rhydon to do some stomps to deal at least a bit of damage any way we can. We traded weak shots back and forth for ages, but eventually our Rhydon did faint. I decided to send in Dugtrio and crit a couple of slashes to finish it off. Last was Dragonite, so I sent in Nidoking. Now this took forever, since we're a lot weaker than him and he spammed Barrier, so his defense maxed out early. But thanks to Poison Sting, we were at least allowed to poison him. He did start using Hyper Potions to stay healthy, but after a few minutes, he went down, giving us the victory. Finally, the Pokemon Champion. He starts with Pidgeot, so I sent in Rhydon to tank hits and stomp him out. It actually worked super well despite the massive level difference, and we took him down with half our health left. Out to Dugtrio for Alakazam, and we just crit a slash to one-shot him. His Rhydon went down in one non-critical dig, and fourth is Water Onyx. We go for Slash, crit for half his health and damage, and he actually hits Hydro Pump. I thought it was over until we hung on with only 33 health left. Our next Slash took him down, but we were hurt. Arcanine was next, but Dig was enough for a one-shot, and last was Venusaur. I went for Slash thinking he'd start his Solar Beam, but we ended up going down to his Mega Drain. I sent in Nidoqueen to do a Body Slam, but she got crit down to 10 health. As Venusaur charged up for Solar Beam, our second Body Slam paralyzed him, making him miss his next turn and letting us slam our way to victory. I had to say, that was pretty rough near the end. It was basically just a Dugtrio challenge, but with bad moves and a lot of extra time spent grinding nearly useless side Pokemon. But to be honest, that's pretty much what I expected. No Pokemon challenge next week. I'm using that time to work on this big Kenshi video that I've been working on for months. Should be really fun. I'm not sure when that's going to be done because I've been working on it for so long now, but one day it'll come out and it'll be fantastic. As always, I'm looking forward to your suggestions in the comments, in the challenge request section of my Discord channel, and on Twitter. Subscribe, ring the bell, stay tuned. If you haven't seen it already, I did a little vlog recently where I talked all about Pokemon challenges and Let's Plays and work and personal life and my cats and stuff like that. It was kind of a Q&A video, and if you have any Qs that you want me to A, then go leave it in the comment section of that video, which I'm sure you'll see if you go to my video page, or if I remember to put it in the cards right now. And if I didn't remember to put it in the cards right now, then you're already yelling at me on Twitter about it. Thank you everybody so much for watching, and until next time, have a nice day.